Prelims March 2023 had almost 50 plus questions directly in UPSC Prelims Examination 20. We will also tell you how to prepare from our test series, and we had the same thing in our second explanation of the Hi, it's almost the month of November. Aspirants around the country are gearing up to take up prelims test series for their preparations for the year 2024. But since UPSC is changing that pattern every year, questions pop up in the mind of every aspirant. Is test series still relevant for UPSC? Or should we take test series? Or should the practice go on? IAS HUB Prelims Test Series 2024 is starting on October 29th. Prelims Smart 2023 had almost 50 plus questions directly and conceptually in UPSC Prelims Examination 2023. We are going to show you the comparison between our test series and the questions that came in UPSC 2023 examination. We will also tell you how to prepare from our test series and the answer key for 2024 prelims. Let's look into it. This document in PDF format is available in the link below. You can watch the document simultaneously along with this discussion. Okay, so let's discuss the questions. The first question is from the 76th question of set A. It was about United Nations World Water Development Report. Okay, so we had the similar question in our test series. It was from PTS 08. So the topic was same World Water Development Report. So the first statement regarding who releases the report is not a question because it is United Nations. The second statement, India needs to extract more than a quarter of the world's groundwater each year to satisfy the drinking needs, drinking water needs and sanitation needs. But as we all know, it's not 18%. Most of the water extraction is for the irrigation purpose. The second statement is incorrect. As we all know that India needs to extract more than a quarter of world's groundwater for irrigation purpose, not for sanitation or drinking water needs. We all know that, right? So second statement is incorrect. As second statement is correct, there is only one option. That is the third option. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. So there's no question about who releases the report because we had the same question in our test series and we had the same in the answer key as well. Next question talks about the Constitution Day. Okay, we had again two statements based on Constitution Day, and we had the similar question: what is the relevance of the date 26 November? That is nothing but the Constitution Day. Okay, the first statement says the Constitution Day is celebrated on 26 November every year to promote constitutional values among citizens. Very general statement. Coming to the second statement, it says that on 1949 the drafting committee was set. Aspirants who have done preparations, they know that the Constitution Committee was set up in 1946. Okay, the second statement is incorrect. Same, there is only one option with statement 2 as incorrect. Next question is question number 29 from set A. The question is about the horizontal devolution of funds in the 15th Finance Commission, the criteria in 15th Finance Commission. We had a very similar question in PTS 19, question 30, which talks about the same criteria. So the answer was demographic performance, 1, forest and ecology, and tax and fiscal efforts apart from the population area and income distance. So as I told you how to prepare from the answer key, we had the same thing in our second explanation of the second statement in our answer key. For tax allocation between the state, it has suggested 12.5% weightage to demographic performance, 45% to income, 15% to population, 10% to forest and ecology, and 2.5% for tax and fiscal efforts. Coming to the 31st question of set A, in essence, what does due process of law mean, giving 4 options? We know from option B, the procedure established by law is not the correct answer because we know it's both are two different things, and we had a similar question in PTS 100th question with reference to the concept of liberty. Consider the following statements, and both statements included two different things that I talked about: procedure established by law and due process of law. This is how we prepare from our answer key, right? So we know the answer, that the answer is principle of natural justice, which includes fair justice and which is also reasonable. Let's come to the 35th question of the set A, which talks about the constitutional bodies, and the question was, which of the above bodies were constitutional in nature? We had very similar questions which talked about constitutional body or a non-constitutional body, and this is how we learn through it. And we know that except the first, that is the National Commission for Backward Classes, all other bodies are not constitutional bodies. 37th question of set A, which talks about bills, financial bills and money bills. We had very similar question to that in our PTS 12 and PTS 25. Question 26 and 20, which talks about Article 112, 117, Finance Bill 1, Finance Bill 2. So this is how we can solve the question. Coming to question number 38 of set A, which talks about the community reserve. We know there are different types of protected areas. One of them is community reserve. And we had a very similar question in our weekly test, that was weekly test number 13, which talks about the difference or comparison between the community reserve and the conservation reserve. And through the statements, we could like directly come to the answer without much thinking, that people of such area are allowed traditional agricultural practices, which is actually not possible in community reserves. Next question is a very repeated, this question number 39 of set A is very repeated theme or topic and a favorite topic or theme for UPSC, that is scheduled areas. So again, this topic and theme was again considered to be very important in our test series as well. We had the question in our PTS talked about scheduled area, who declares a scheduled area, and the criteria to be declared a scheduled area. So again, this question could be solved through our answer keys. Next question, question number 40 from set A, which talks about DPSP. And the question was about Article 335, which is again a DPSP outside Part 4. We had a similar question, Part 16, that talks about Article 335. In our answer key, we have specially mentioned about Article 335 and other articles which are outside DPSP. As we see the question statement 2 says Article 335 of Constitution of India defines the term efficiency of administration, which is not possible to define. So again, when statement 2 is incorrect, we come to the answer. That answer is option C. Coming to next question. Next question, again, a very important question, a very conceptual question, which talks about the stupa in Buddhist architecture. The question was question number 42 from set A. And the first statement says the concept of stupa is Buddhist in origin, where most of the aspirant might have believed that the first statement is correct, but we had the same or very similar question to that of stupas or the stupa architecture in Buddhism. And in the answer key, we have mentioned that stupas were known from the ancient time onwards. And a stupa was even discovered from the citadel of Mohenjo-daro, which was very earlier than the Buddhist spirit. So this is how, as I told you, this is how we prepare from the answer key. With reference to ancient South India, Korkai, Pumpuhar, and Muchiri were well known as. Again, a very similar question. In fact, a couple of questions were asked from PTS 21 and 23 about Pumpuhar as well as Korkai. They are nothing but the important ports of South Indian kingdoms. Coming to next question, question number 47, which is also from set A and talks about Jainism and its beliefs. So souls are not only the property of animal and plant life, but also of rocks, running water, and many other biotic as well as abiotic components. So that we have discussed in our test PTS test number 3, and the answer key talks about it as they were against agricultural practices as it hurts the soul of soil and microorganisms living in it. So the answer was purely Jainism. Question number 50 from set A, which again talks about very important or repeated area of UPSC, or the favorite area of UPSC, about the regulating acts which are repeatedly asked in UPSC. So the question was about which one of the following acts was the Governor General of Bengal designated as the Governor General of India. So the answer was Charter Act of 1833. Very similar question about different Charter Acts and the Councils Act were asked in our test series, especially test number 13. It was with reference to Charter Act of 1833. Let's come to question number 52 from set A, which talks about Anemia Mukta Bharat strategy. Okay, the first statement talks about it provides prophylactic calcium supplementation for preschool children. We all know that anemia is the deficiency of iron. As we had the question in our PTS 12, we had in the answer key that deficiency of hemoglobin or RBCs or the iron leads to anemia, and thus the first statement was wrong, and rest all three statements were general statements. So through the answer key, we could have solved this question. Coming to next question, the question was about Janani Suraksha Yojana, again a scheme important for a woman. We had a very similar scheme, Pradhan Mantri Matru Bandhana Yojana, and we had discussed the scheme of Janani Suraksha Yojana in our answer key as well. The fourth statement was about Janani Suraksha. Under Janani Suraksha Yojana, eligible pregnant women are entitled to cash assistance. Again, through the answer key, we could have approached this question. Consider the following pairs about the objects in space and its description. We had a very similar question in our science test, that is PTS 08. Which one of the following is the correct order of life cycle of a star? So we had like life cycle shown about white dwarf, nebula, black hole. What is the correct sequence was the question, and we had the definition of each and everything mentioned in the question, especially about nebulae. So when we see that nebulae is a giant, huge cloud and gas dust mentioned in the answer key, we could have approached this question by looking into giant clouds of dust and gas in space, that is saphites, and thus these two pairs are incorrect. Okay, coming to next question. Question number 58 about ballistic missiles and cruise missiles. The question, again, we had the same theme or same topic question asked in our PTS 15 about ballistic missile system, and questions were asked on Agni missile system as well as supersonic cruise missile system of BrahMos. Coming to next question, which was very expected question in this year because of the Ukraine crisis going on, the neighboring countries of Ukraine. So we had a similar test, a similar question in our weekly test number 14 about the borders of Ukraine. We also had the map, and we also discussed about Zaporizhia. Zaporizhia was an important port in Ukraine, which was again a question which would be discussed later. The question 62 from set A, which talks about the Earth's atmosphere. Which one of the following statement is correct? And it was about mostly about the albedo. Okay, so the question we had from PTS 08 about the solar radiation, and in our answer key we have mentioned about solar radiation, how much percentage is reflected, what kind of rays are there, was discussed in our answer key. Again, through the answer key, we could have approached this question. About tropical rainforest, the soils in tropical rainforest, we have discussed in our test series as well as our test discussions that the soils in tropical rainforests have very less nutrients because of high leaching and high rainfall and high leaching. Thus, the soil content has very less nutrients. So we could have solved this question through our answer key of PTS 08. Rainfall promotes leaching of soil whereby lime and silica are leached away and soil rich in oxides of iron and aluminum compounds are left behind. Coming to next question. The question talks about the temperature contrast between continents and ocean is greater during summer than in winter. So temperature contrast between the land and the sea during the summer was asked, and the specific heat of water was asked. Again, we had a very similar question about factors that affect temperature of ocean waters in northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. So through the answer key, we could have solved this, as the answer key talks about oceans in northern hemisphere receive more heat due to their contact with larger extent of land than the oceans in the southern hemisphere. Coming to next question, Wolbachia method or Wolbachia method, which was very much in news in previous year and the year before, about controlling the viral diseases spread by mosquitoes. Again, we had a similar question in our PTS 27. The Wolbachia method, sometimes seen in news, is regarding the control of dengue. Coming to question number 71 of set A, which was on MSME. Similarly, we had identified an important topic through the Atmanirbhar Abhiyan schemes, and which was MSME. And through this answer key, we could have solved this question as well. The second statement, again, as we always keep telling that the extreme statements in economic questions are all 9 out of 10 times wrong. That is, all bank loans to MSMEs qualify under priority sector. We have discussed this repeatedly in our test discussions as well as class sessions also. Coming to next question. Next question, as I mentioned earlier, Zaporizhia. Zaporizhia is a port in Ukraine, and it's not the dispute between Israel and Lebanon. And Nagorno-Karabakh was in news the previous year as well as the year before, and we had the same question or the similar question on Nagorno-Karabakh region, and we through the answer key again we could have approached this question directly. Coming to next question. Next question was about Israel and the Arab nations pact that was signed. The first statement was Israel has established diplomatic relations with some Arab states. Again, we had I2U2 initiative that year going on, and we identified that as an important area to be asked in the prelims test. And We covered this in our answer key that the peace initiative that was signed was not Arab peace initiative that rather than Abraham Accords. So through that answer key, we could have approached this question as well. Coming to next question. Next question talks about green hydrogen. Again, green hydrogen was very important topic in the year 2023, 2022, and the year before, and in coming years as well. It is a very important topic about green hydrogen technology, and we identified in our test series as well. The test number 15 had about green steel manufactured using blue hydrogen and other hydrogen technologies. So through the answer key, we could have come to the conclusion that all of the above, that all three things, that as fertilizer plants, oil refineries, and steel plants can be used to decarbonize using green hydrogen technology. Question number 7 from set A, which was about cobalt, a very important critical mineral, which was in news because of the electric vehicle motor industry. And the question was, the 3/4 of world's cobalt metal required is produced from or manufactured or produced by which of the following countries? Again, similar theme or topic was selected in our test series, that is PTS 13, and we had that topic about Democratic Republic Congo, which produces the largest amount of cobalt. So we could have approached this question through the answer key. Coming to next question, question number 1 of set A, that is about different rivers as well as Ramsar sites. Ramsar sites was repeatedly discussed in our test series, and one of them were Koleru, which is found in Andhra Pradesh, and Kanwar Lake in Bihar. So this was asked in our NCERT test as well as PTS, NCERT test 1 and PTS 8, about Jhelum River, its origin and where it flows through. And as we all know, through the location of Koleru Lake, Krishna flows very much below to Koleru Lake. Thus, it does not directly feed the Koleru Lake. Coming to next question. Question number 5 of set A, which talks about present day extensive marshland. And we had a topic about Banganga, which is also known as the Sir Creek, the disputed area between India and Pakistan in the western coast. We had a similar question in PTS 8 about the Sir Creek and the present day marshland, that is nothing but Ran of Kutch. Again, this question could be approached through our answer key, which talks about Banganga is popularly known as Sir Creek, which is a disputed area between India and Pakistan in the Ran of Kutch marshlands. Next question talks about the interest rates hikes during post-pandemic period, and the question was taken from the monetary policy area, and again a very repeated and very important theme in UPSC prelims examinations in previous years as well. So we identified as an important topic, and we had similar questions in our test series, that is PTS 23, about targeting framework in India through monetary policy of RBI. Next question talks about carbon markets, again a buzz topic in environment and ecology subject. Carbon markets was a very important topic in the recent years through various discussions in different forums, and we found it as an important topic, and we discussed that about in our test, that is PTS test number 21. Next, question number 24, which talks about sterilization, and this was taken in our weekly test. This theme or this topic, again a static topic in economics, was taken in our NCERT test number 7, that is about open market operations. Once you know what is open market operations, the question was very easy to be solved. Again, this question could be approached through our answer key. The answer key was nothing but directly from NCERT textbook class 12 macroeconomics. Next question was again based on Indian geography, important biosphere reserves and locations in Indian geography. We have discussed all the 18 biosphere reserves in our test series discussion, and questions through our test number 12, PTS 12, about Narmada, which flows between the Vindhya and Satpura region. And through the information of this test as well as the answer key, the question could have been solved, as Seshachalam Hills constitute the southern part of Western Ghats. Seshachalam Hills, we know, that is a biosphere reserve in the eastern part of India in Andhra Pradesh. Question 79 of set A, which talks about biodiversity managing committees are key to the realization of objectives of Nagoya Protocol. We know Nagoya Protocol and Cartagena Protocol are two important protocols of biodiversity management, and we had covered that topic in our test 16 about Cartagena Protocol on biosafety. And through the answer key, you could have approached this question as Nagoya Protocol was discussed in the answer key, which talks about the Nagoya Protocol on access and benefit sharing is other supplementary agreement to the Convention of Biological Diversity. Hence, the second statement, the biodiversity management committees have important functions in determining across benefit sharing, including the power to levy collection fees on access of biological resources, again, which could have been approached to the answer key. Okay, coming to question 80, which talks about the election to the President of India, which was again a very important topic because of recent election of President of India. The question had the statement, the value of vote of each MLA of Madhya Pradesh is greater than that of Kerala. So the value of vote was an important topic. We had the similar statement in our test number 16, the value of vote of an MLA from Uttar Pradesh will be much greater than that of an MLA from Kerala. So because of election of president was in news, the importance of an MLA's votes and in its value was covered in our test number 16. So as we have discussed in this video, answer key is very important for the preparation of prelims. A test is only complete when we go through the three important steps. First, when we complete the test. Second, attending the discussion. And third, revising the test paper. The revision of the test is very important as we seen in this video. So, when you prepare for 2024 prelims and when you take a test series, make sure that you're thorough with the answer key.